Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Disco Elysium. In the last episode, we talked with that one witness who didn't witness anything after all, but his friend did, a member of the Moral Lintern. Basically like a senator or a congressman, some bureaucrat associated with the coalition. We talked to him for a bit, let him know how far our investigation, let him know most of what we have discovered about the gentleman who was murdered. We did not rat out Clage, the dancer, however, to him. We found this amazing hat. We found a robe as well. And now we're going to head back to our apartment for the evening. Oh, I guess let's talk with Kim first.
Yes.
Oh, or not. All right, so I guess we go to our room, and maybe that starts the end of the evening. So let's do that. We also got, in this case I didn't mention it, this amazing hat while we were in there. Oh man, it looks incredible. I really like it. And I don't like it as much as I like the visor, but I do like it. And we're wearing our interfacing gloves because I intend to try to use the sink. And I have a hunch that's going to require interfacing. So we're going to wash our gloved hands and try to clean the cut, I think, that we did to ourselves. Or at least wash the smell off. Which I guess is a thing we're trying to do. So let's head on in. Actually, we'll go to the balcony first of the Whirling in Rags, just to see if we can talk to Kim for the summary of what occurred today. I don't know if that's a thing that only happened once, or if it's a thing that happens every single evening. Oh, if we get a tape, we might be able to practice karaoke upstairs on our boombox, and then sing karaoke down here as well to complete another quest. Very important one. Okay, so let's go to the balcony first. Oh, am I able to maybe get... Probably not. I don't think I've raised my... We did raise our perception again. Maybe we can get a few more bottles from our room. And it doesn't look like there's anything special that will happen out here.
Yes?
Right, we also passed a ton of checks yesterday. Difficult ones as well. Looks like we rolled a few 10s. I think 2 10s, a 9, a 7, and a 6 were rolled yesterday for all our tests. That's amazing. Normally I don't roll so lucky. I expected to fail some of them. We've been getting very lucky, I think. Alright, yep, have a good night, Kim. Oh, he just vanishes into his room as well. How about that? Okay, I need to wash my hands. This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. Perception, smell. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you. Run yourself a bath. The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons. Undress, close your eyes, and submerge. The water is only lukewarm, but still comforting, like anemotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks like sad duckies. Why do I not get to clean the tub first? Inland Empire. You feel nice and lonely. And so tired. Take the beer cans out. Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. but it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside the tub. Electrochemistry. They're not even really thoughts, just assorted sensations. None of them acute enough to focus on. Let's imagine something, right? We have good Inland Empire and shivers. You see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. Conceptualization. Then, houses along a narrow street, a video rental, darkness on the planet's curvature. Linger in the tub a little. Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools. What are you doing? You're not some fat fish in a fucking aquarium. Time to get moving. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin. I couldn't use the sink? With the hot water coming out of it? So, sometimes this game is really, really freaking weird. And not in the way that I'm used to. But did we complete the quest? That's the most important thing. We did. Wash off the death smell? Oh, there's a bathtub in your room. Okay, I thought it mentioned there's a sink. Okay, so I guess it's not a concern? What happened to our finger? I guess it's not a concern. Alright, well, we're done for the evening. No time like the present to get to bed early. As I look over at my own clock and see it's 7:58 at the moment. So let's get some sleep. I can't... Actually, there's probably quite a few things I could still do. You know, let's stay awake for a tiny bit more. And we'll go ahead and look at one of these things. Let's look at the tattoos ourselves. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. It still kind of looks like a map of the stars in the night sky, but something's not right. What is the meaning of this tattoo? For you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without assistance. Who are you? Gone. Can we look at this a little more? Nothing else there. Let's look at the fractured bullet we pulled out of his head. We did just wash ourselves, after all, off the smell. The bullet mushroomed out on impact, but now looks more like a fanciful jacket button than something that could pierce skin, flesh, and bone. The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Inland Empire. Besides his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny shriveled head of cauliflower. What do I do with you, bullet? The squished little thing has no idea. Visual calculus. I know. You should find a gun. You should find the gun that shot this bullet. Find the gun that shot it. That sounds like something a police detective would do. First, you should learn all you can about this little guy. I think we did already. Let's inspect it a little closer. The jacket of the bullet is made of yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark gray core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. And the core? It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. Look at the jacket. You can just make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines. Linear. It feels standard. Esprit de corpse. Far away, Lieutenant Kitsuragi is flipping through stations in his kinema. He is not here examining the bullet with you. He should be. He would find this very intriguing. Mention it to him later when he's here. We'll feel the bullet later then when he's here as well. I guess we'll do that before we send him on with the corpse. And you were a little wrong about that, Esprit de corpse. He's sleeping next door. What time is it in game? We have time. Let's look at one of our cases. Maybe we can find out a little bit more about ourselves. Where's our... Oh, that item's in our hand. Oh, and I can't interact with it. Oh, wait, we can interact with it, Tim. There's a giant interact button right there. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Let's read a case file. It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you devised. Which one do you want? Let's look at the square bullet hole murders. It would be very interesting to read these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. But that's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then, another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. A sequence killer. Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun. That wasn't 30 minutes, though. That was more like 13 minutes. Let's go to bed. I can revisit this. The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting, but it's yours. You've earned it. Go to sleep. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself.
I don't like the voice acting for this. My own voice acting is not very good, but I really don't like the limbic system and the lizard brain voices in this game. I wish can I just take that off? For this, I'm going to remove it. I'd rather be the one reading it. You're not cooperating, brother man. Why? It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety, but you cannot. Because of the pain. Pain threshold. And there's lots of it. Ever present in your organs. It's like every one of them has their own nasty song to sing. Logic. That pain in your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Empathy. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you? I'm sorry, cells. It's all me. It's all my fault. Now, you're finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you. We're gonna go with the we deserve this at the moment, rather than we're gonna rush out and get medical attention. 2 and 3 are not things I think I would normally answer anyway. These are just, at least not for Sam, these are my just desserts. I will endure this pain with dignity. There's no dignity here, only reflections of your body mass, flashes of the day. You keep coming back to yourself in the mirror, but why? To admire all your accomplishments? You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people, really looking. But why would you want to start doing that? Human beings will always betray you. How many promises have you kept lately, Sir Harry? To the great see-through world, the tenderness. Drama, thou art honorable and just, sire. 'Tis the snakes who are vile, hissing in the grass. Endurance, women. It's the women. Look out for the women. They're oath breakers. Volition, come now. Humans have earned your trust, and you theirs. What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts. You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you. Let it. Let it. But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll. Well, I'm gonna hope that I gained some sleep. Good morning. I still have not even looked at myself in the mirror. I don't think we'll start now either. We've come too far to look in that mirror now. Stepping Kedra, 9 degrees and a front. Let's step outside and get a good, nice, brisk feeling. Get a feeling of the brisk morning air on our skin, and then we start day 3. It's raining again. Klage is still here. Nothing seems out of the ordinary at the moment. Let's go ahead and head back in. Can't visit Kim yet. Oh, sorry, Kim's not in his room at least. I don't see any reason for us to disturb Klage, so let's head downstairs and say hello to Kim. Good morning. Oh, hello! We have more members of the RCM who are here this morning. 2 of them. This guy kind of looks like my partner. There's a guy without the jacket on as well. Well, Kim, let's go upstairs. We're gonna talk about the bullet first, and then we can talk to the RCM since they're here. Someplace. I just want to talk to you before I send you out today to bring the corpse back.
Yes?
Kim, take a look at this. It's a jacketed bullet close to 5 millimeters in diameter. A jacketed bullet. Okay, it would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez. Endurance, we were right. This came from a serious weapon. Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it. Inland Empire. Something tells you that it won't be anytime soon. This will have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while. Well, we've got a chance to determine what type of weapon it is. We'll need, I think this is an 8. I think we need an 8 to be successful at this. Do I have any items? I think I do. Let's feel the bullet through the bag. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. I think I've got some clothes that will give me hand-eye coordination, don't I? Thought I had one. The hat? No, that's reaction speed. Okay, here we go. Don't we look amazing? So now we should need a 7. All right, let's try it. A rifle. Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique. Make? The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Bella Margrave rifle. A Revacholian manufacturer, the BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulundian theater of the anti-Continental Revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullets would probably fit in the chamber. Is anyone still making these rifles? No. But Zleger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war, so there are still a lot of those old military rifles floating around. Usually broken. The quality was appalling. Who uses Bell Margrave rifles these days? Margrave? Bell Margrave rifles these days. Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries. A few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order. Lieutenant jots something down in his notebook. What are you thinking? Bullet? I think I know where this came from. Okay, and? The shot probably came from a Bell Margrave rifle. An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Revachol, really. That's probably a good thing. He nods. I have to hand it to the monarchs. It's quite admirable that they took the advice of the criminologists last century and banned the use of breech-loaders in peacetime. Some new RCM recruits got impatient with their muzzleloaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end. I think we should have more powerful guns. We're the law. Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation. Could the victim have been mixed up with some foreign guerrilla fighters? Let's find out. Next step, finding the gun itself. But that is something we can do later. And I think, so I don't own any guns, everyone. And so when I hear muzzleloader, it only occurs to me right now what that might mean. That means that the gun is fed through the barrel? Like the old rifles ages ago. Is that what that means? I'd have to look it up. Okay. So let's go ahead and give a chat with the RCM.
You look like shit.
Your ruffled face reflects from the man's sunglasses.
And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
I know. It's intentional.
Like undercover?
The woman in the RCM uniform interjects.
Well, as far as disguises go, this is one of the best I've seen. I mean, I could swear you're an actual bum.
Come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
It's not just this week. What do you want?
Visual calculus. There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar, but different face. Alright, split the corpse. Actually, first... I wish I could access my inventory from this screen so I could see if I have any clothes that would go with Sprit the Corpse, but I think I'm already wearing it. So we need a 4, I think. Sprit the Corpse, there's something strange about this guy. Figure it out. Failed. There's something that binds you to him. Some kind of an outfit, maybe? A uniform. A firefighter's uniform? Exactumundo. I don't think he's a firefighter. I'm not going to ask that. Of course, you don't have to. You can talk about anything you want. Wow, a 2. Snake eyes. Kim, who is this guy? He shakes his head. I'm not getting involved in this. It's with the corpse. It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses. And the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at him. No wonder. He just doesn't recognize him. Okay then, see you around. Watch out for yourself, loser. That voice, so very familiar. Did you hear it when calling your station and reporting your badge missing? It's probably nothing. We're not going to deal with it at the moment. Yeah, so we got lots of successes about the things that matter. We failed one that might have mattered. We can talk with her too, I suppose, but let's first handle the bullet situation. This does mean that we're going to send Kim away from us this morning, so he won't be with us all day. This means we'll have to solve things ourselves today. Okay, let's first call. And ask about the armor. Pull out the radio. This is Precinct 57. The operator greets you through the static. How may I assist you? Did you find out more about the owner of the armored boots? Yes, it took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready? Lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand. I was born ready, baby. That suit of armor was issued to an Originist citizen named Elias Courtenier. That's Echo Lima Lima Indigo Sierra. Kappa, I should know these. Oscar, Roger, Tango, Echo, November, Alpha, Echo, Roger. Exact date of birth unknown. He was signed into the Lasted Country Neonatal Care Unit on the 28th of February, 09. Neonatal Care Unit. He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2. Inland Empire. According to Clage, Lely said his real name wasn't really his. Perhaps that's because he was fostered. This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Ijbrand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Orgenet forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Semenine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Krenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachol. So all we have to connect him to Krenel is the armor. Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. He leans closer and shouts, "Thank you, Alex. Great work." "No problem, Lieutenant." She sounds pleased. Authority. A compliment from Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Not bad. Any information on his foster parents? None, officer. Sorry. He was found in a leaf compactor. It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files, so I thought it would be good for you to know. It is. Thank you, Alice. Well, we have his name in his service record now. A name. This is very good. Ellis Courtenier, he says to himself. Esprit de corps. Sometimes police work is about human dignity, about giving back names to anonymous victims. I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions? No, I'm done. 57th over and out. We don't need to call about the person who called the murder. We know it wasn't that girl. We know it was Clage. We've earned another point. So we could put a point in Esprit de corps and try that white check again, if I cared to. Or we could put that point into the thought cabinet. I think we'll do this first. And we'll start working on the date of birth generator rather than the Kingdom of Conscience. Only because I don't want my suit of my half-light at the moment. Your face looks like it's 58 and your body feels like it's 60. Your mind feels like it's lived for 1 day or 100. Both longer than they ought to be. The day and the century. But for how long, then, has this thing attached to your sentience walked this planet's crust? Time to start racking those brains of yours, Elder One. When and where were you born? We could maybe have Kim pay for his room, and then we can maybe sleep in his room. Rather than paying for it ourselves, but I guess we'll just do this now. And we'll send him on his way without making him pay, then not staying the night. Suppose, I don't... Is there anything here we can retry? Oh, right. That's no good. We need a better crowbar than the one we have. I forgot about that. That was where we found the weaponry. I think our perception was also as high as it currently is when we were last in here, so I don't think there'll be anything else. For us to find! Before I forget, let's shout into this thing, shall we? Why not? Actually, let's talk to Kim about this first. Those voices I heard. Maybe it's the malignant entity? Pleasant says it lives in the chimney. You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected, but malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind. Half-Light. Then what was that chatter you heard? Ah, I suspect that these are the members. This is the members of the, what is it? Who are they called again? These are the other mercs. I think they're hiding out somewhere in this structure. Yell hello into the furnace. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then, you can hear a woman's voice answer. You've awakened the entity. Half-Light. And it's a woman, of course. Malicious entities are always women. I summoned the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Do I really want to do that? Do I really want to do that? What would Sam do? Sam wouldn't say number 2. As funny as it is, we would say number 1. This is the police. Who's there?
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sounds of a curtain being pulled aside. The lieutenant nods and points upstairs. After you, officer. We'll come back and kick it. I'm pretty sure that's going to damage us. Give us 1 point of endurance loss, and I don't want to take that loss right now. Well, this is turning out to be a bit more exciting than I thought. That was quite a roar. Oh, there's something over there. Wait, did this always exist and we never were up here before? The floorboards creak. A postcard. La Delta 51. Oh, this year! The sunlight has made this postcard almost completely sepia-toned. Midtown traffic passes. Overhead, the ghosts of skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist, vapor rising from the delta on which the district was built. The postcard is prepaid. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Oh, these were used recently. Does someone live here? This tray is full of dice. Colorful, polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. Oh, a gamer! Hey! She plays D&D, maybe. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools, with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Inland Empire. Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. Visual calculus. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching. You must have confused me with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Hold on. What do you mean by Milius?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Oh, I love this sort of thing. I still have some of my old dice when I used to play D&D. Haven't rolled a 20-sided dice in a long time. I used to collect weird dice. I had one that was used for weather effects. One that was used to create random dungeons, others for encounters. I've had many, many over the years. I wish I still had some of those originals. They are long gone. Physical instrument. As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong. Encyclopedia. Role-playing games. You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count? Sure, I like role-playing games, and I need some dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 rel per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there is any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. Conceptualization. It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus. Inland Empire. Plasnus was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse. Authority. Does it mean she's unlawfully occupying a part of the house? Shameful. Creative. Lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags? Nothing, really. I didn't know him. Inland Empire. Who cares about the dead body? Ask her about the curse already. Lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then the woman under the large window. Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening? I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. Do you often work Sunday nights? It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. What do you mean by the daily ruckus? Well, there's always something going on in the whirling backyard. She stops to try to come up with an example. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. Empathy. She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence. She looks up at the window. Pale light comes in. But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window? I might have, but in this case, all I could have seen would have been my own reflection staring back from the darkness. Visual calculus. It's light here, but dark in the yard at night. It's really hard to make out anything in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. I see. Thank you for your answers. She nods. Anything else, officer? Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone. More or less. She adjusts the yellow scarf that covers her hair. Are you interested in anyone specific? Logic. Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind. Shivers. Rats scuttle in the dark rooms under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure. I found a strange machine. Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face. She liked them. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Revachol. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. Oh, what do you mean liberal? What happened? The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. What went wrong? Well, I didn't hear them talking at times. Oh, I did hear them talking at times. She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just begun to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic. And to show up to work on time. Authority, she's right. Showing up to work on time is important. Electrochemistry, showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult. Especially if you've been drinking. You're right. They should have just tried harder. They had everything needed to... this sounds a bit sarcastic. None of this, though, sounds like we could take advantage of that one thought we have. That's too bad. Actually, what would Sam say? He would have said this. You're right. They should have just tried harder. They had everything they needed to succeed. Oh, yes! $1! $1. Really wish the game would mark which of these actually satisfies the libertarian aspect. That is not a libertarian thing to say. That's really not. I don't know. Sometimes let's move on. Still, not everyone is going to make it. She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic disc. That's the nature of the game. Perception. The result is 1 on the 20-sided die. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall. Anything else? I found creepy mannequins. There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I've forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came. Insect right activists? What in the name of... The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, which is extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident? The activists shut down the biggest chitin suppliers, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could even finish the collection. Oh, they got what they deserved. Making clothes out of... But it... Okay. I think Sam would say number 3 here, right? So, I love insects. I would normally choose number 1. Number 2, Well, they don't have any of these things, but maybe it's important to protect certain insects because, like, we don't want bees dying out, for example. So, but we'll go with number 3. They got what they deserved. Making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea. At least it had some spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original. She sits in her simple workwear shirt. As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up, they're not moving. Anything else? I had a fly get in here the other day. Today is January 20th. I should not have to worry about flies flying into my house or the front door in January. They should be dead. They're not. At least that one wasn't. How annoying. It died, though. It took, well, let's just say that its death was hopefully instantaneous. What's up with the broken windows? Oh, this one's a mess, she sighs. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for a lit group that was producing snuff milus. Who would have guessed? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway, and I have no idea how to get rid of it on our own. Cool. Very cool about the debris, but what's a snuff milu? It's a sub-rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it. Electrochemistry. What did she mean to get off on it? Don't worry. The ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-rosas. Lieutenant turns to you. This isn't our problem. Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. Then she lets the thought go. There used to be a hair salon here, right? Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word. Who'd be scared of haircuts? You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. Conceptualization. A bit of experimenting now and then isn't bad. So, I have to try to remember what androgynous means. I think that means either sex. So you can't tell if it was the haircut was meant for a guy or a girl. Sam, though, wouldn't have an opinion, I think, either way. I guess I'm a simple man. I don't really have any opinions on hairstyles. Me neither. I just want it off my face. She tucks a strand of hair under her headscarf. What's with the rotor blades and skis? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tolula or Tio Martiri or Kashat Kor, wherever he is. That's illegal, running off with the company's money like that. Why hasn't he been arrested? Sure, it's illegal, but it's not exactly anything extraordinary in business. Besides, Slipstream is history now. All the remaining assets got seized by the Ballops in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around. Logic. They were just props. Why return to them? What happened to the gym? It wasn't merely a gym. It was Artemep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youths away from drugs and crime. Oh, like the YMCA. Maybe that's what Kuno needs. A community-centric boxing club. Kuno? Her eyes narrow in dim light. Who's Kuno? He's sort of the king around here. Oh, yes. You mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. She looks out the window. It's oddly quiet out there at the moment. I think it will take more than the gym to help that kid. And who was Artemep? A kind man from Zismik. I can't pronounce that. Zeism? I can't do it. We'll call it Zeisum. From Zeisum. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Judging from the kids I've met so far, it didn't really work out, did it? It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. Electrochemistry. You should have known it! Logic. It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. But what drugs exactly? I need to know what drugs he was doing for my police report. He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful. Even you can probably do better than that. Empathy. You can almost see it. A small, sickly old man hunched behind his work desk, his pants stained with old piss, stuffing a sad, stiff-legged raccoon dog. The entire scene looked tragic. There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar. Oh boy, the fabled Revachol Ice City. You're in for a treat here. She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now, ask me about their other ideas. Conceptualization, indeed. What were the other ideas? All right. What about the other ideas? There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dare disturb their bored magazine browsing. She leans back, disapproving. I don't know if the girl at the frit is the prettiest girl, but that sounds exactly like her. My thoughts went to her immediately. That is not a lot of money. But we have to choose 3. We have to. We have to choose 3 because I think, and I wish I could tell, I think this goes with that one thought we have. That's an award-winning idea. How else do you choose people around you? Darn it, no dollar. Yes, some people spend their whole lives chasing the hot one. She makes quotation marks with her fingers. You should have joined the gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the stand, ready to scare off customers and hit on the girls. As if they didn't already have the bear. She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear? The bear, she repeats, pressing her thumbs to her temples, like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out? Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol Ice City lost a price war to its rival, Glacier 5000. Glacier 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. Nod solemnly. It's the market doing its job. Yes, give me that freaking dollar. Maybe. Because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean. How come? He said the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherian. Sounds cool. That's a good name for a bear. Scary, but cool. Megatherian. She nods Dice Maker. A mega wild beast. What's a mega wild beast? It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly. Electrochemistry. A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved. With drugs. The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around. grabbed her necktie and mumbled, "Not now, you beast." What? Do you ever feel like your vision beast is trying to blackmail the fun out of you? No, officer, I don't have a vision beast. Normal people don't have vision beasts. Only drug-addled madmen like the taxidermists do. We're not going to go down the rest of this route. They would be... I would love to, but we're not playing that type of cop. Of course they don't. I'm a normal person. That's right, we'll go with this. That was a hypothetical question. Right, says the dice maker. She doesn't look entirely convinced. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. She seems almost sad, finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the morning light. Her eyes follow it idly. Perception, sight. Little sparkling embers under the window. Shivers. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time. Another question for you. Good. I hope it cleared things up a bit. What else? How'd you become a dice maker? How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. I wanted to be a jeweler as well. I would like to be able to cut gemstones and such. It's something I might actually still do if I'm alive in a few years. I might get a shed in the backyard and buy some tools. I don't have room in the house for it, unfortunately. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. It grew from there. Oh, do you like role-playing games yourself? Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role-players are, as customers, they're nice people. Empathy. She's thankful for the security they provide her. I think I would like a dice, but I don't have $10. If I had 50, maybe. I guess we could ask about it. Now we'll come back. I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area? I've heard the stories, she nods, as the wind howls from the furnace shaft above. But I don't think those stories are true. Pleasance is the one who sent me. She's convinced the place is swarming with malicious energies. Pleasance, the bookshop lady. She raises her brows. I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. Alright, but it's not just a bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. We know that it's part of the Doom commercial area, actually. This is mostly just me. I don't think that's actually right. Hold on, the Whirling is part of the Doom commercial area? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. I don't like any of these answers, because it is part of the Doom commercial area. But that's not right. Yes, but it's a separate building. The malicious energies can't reach there. And then there's me. She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving From knives to carving flies? To wire cut. It must be carving files to wire cutters. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a $1 million real business idea. Yet somehow I've survived, despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it? Half-Light, it's because she's in cahoots with the demons! I think 4 is probably the best way to answer for Sam. I'll be the first to admit, there were many inconsistencies in this so-called curse. I was just about to ask. She leans forward in her chair to study your face. What do you think? Do you think the curse is real? Half-Light. The jig is up! The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. Inland Empire. Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest. I think 2 is what Sam would say. I'm starting to see that there is no curse. Only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Exactly. She pinches the root of her nose. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? Oh! We'll come back for that. Let's leave. And let's put on as much plus Shivers clothes as we can possibly get. Let's see. We'll try that check. And make sure I'm not wearing anything that has penalties of Shivers. I don't think I am. Actually, we can check that just by going here and hovering over Shivers. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and try that check. We need a 8. Hey, and we got it! A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere. Oh. This is just a theory, but hear me out. I think I know why your business hasn't failed. Didn't we already talk about this? She asks, and the wind continues to seep in through the cracks in the old chimney. It's because you're not in the same building as the others. This isn't technically the doomed commercial area. What are you talking about? She shakes her head. My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10. Shivers. No. The old cold plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up. Yet it has a different address in the heart of the city. No. This used to be a coal plant. Touch the safety curtains. You're in a chimney of another building. That doesn't make any sense. She looks around in the makeshift nest that she has carved out for herself, bewildered. Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from? It has a different address. No. Let's go with this. I'm just using logic. It's windy in here. You probably haven't properly sealed the chimney crown. Point above. She says, looking up. You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Does it mean that I'm safe from failure? Inland Empire. Don't let her become complacent. She still needs to ward her soul against the evil forces. Actually, it's only your workshop that's protected. You should still do something to defend your person. She starts laughing, her fingers trying to rub away exhaustion from her face. What? Do you know what this is? She raises her hand to reveal a piece of metal shining on her index finger. It looks like a regular piece of jewelry to me. It's a mourning ring, she replies. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it to the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan. See? The curse is real. No, why are you telling me this? It wasn't just a jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world, that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? She closes her eyes. That it was all because I didn't run my little shop's inventors from a dump inside an abandoned chimney. Don't call it a dump. You've made it nice and cozy here. Yeah. She stares out the window, not really hearing your words. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's just a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you wanted. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be. You can try again. Still, there's something inherently violent, even about dice rolls. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. An alternative ending, or an entirely different world. She picks up a pair of dice from the table and examines them under the light. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer. She gives you a tired smile. Okay, we'll report back to Places about our findings. Actually, it's probably time for me to stop already. I have more questions about this building. Oh, actually, I don't. Alright, take care, Novelty Dice Maker. So, Shivers allowed me to pass a check that figured out this place is indeed connected. That she was safe from the curse, assuming it is real, because her building actually isn't a part of the doomed commercial area. Oh, can we lift this again? Smells like leather and sweat. No, I cannot lift it again. I think we'll keep my Shivers shirt on. We'll talk to Plius, and then we'll call the session then. And next video, we'll send Kim on his way with the body. Oop! I see more circles. We want to search all the circles. The book collects the national recipes of Arda. They're all about lake trout. Old sports magazines, tucked away in a dark corner.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Nia, and she's a novelty dice maker. A novelty dice maker? Her eyes widen. Well, spit it out! Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. No, ma'am. I have felt her aura. She's not the one to blame for this curse. She looks perplexed. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse? Endurance. Before you say anything, ask yourself, is the woman really able to withstand the truth? Logic. The narratives she's built herself. It does need tearing down. Suggestion. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. This is what she actually said. That would be the truth. She's not going to believe it, though. So this is logic. Tear down the narrative. This is endurance. Lie. Or this one. This one might actually be the truth, if I stop to think about it. Maybe there is another entity. I still would like to know how we're gaining $1. What magic is in this world that gives us $1 whenever we choose that type of answer? Can you imagine if in real life, if you were of a particular political persuasion, and whenever you said anything that supported your politics, $1 materialized in your hand? Holy crap! Everyone be murdering each other in the street. We talk about politics all the time. No one would get along with anybody ever again. That'd be the end of a society. Well, I don't know which of these to choose, everyone, and I have to give an answer. I can't let you guys decide. So why don't I go and get a dice from the back room? I'll be right back. Okay, let's see if I can make you guys. I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear that? Let me move the microphone. That is the sound of a 4-sided dice. A little triangle. Haven't rolled one of these in years. My goodness, I forgot I even had this. So, we're gonna roll. Oh, we're kind of gonna roll. If it rolls a 3, then I will roll again. Otherwise, we'll let this decide for us. Here we go. Let's see what we get. A 1. She says there is no curse, because there are too many inconsistencies. The woman scoffs at you with an audible snort. Too many inconsistencies? What kind of talk is that? First, you're one of the inconsistencies. I'm not doing as well as it looks I am. She grasps her pendant. I only have my 70s wards to thank for the protection they provide. As I said, she's a novelty dice maker. Her business has been up and running for a long time now. Yes, because her business consists of the psychic leech. It's been feeding the curse. Red blotches appear on her skin. I see that you've fallen for her manipulation, detective. The investigation is over. I just hope that you haven't made anything worse by going in there. She tucks the pendant away in her blouse and concludes, Thank you for nothing. Please do buy some books or be on your way. Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now. I'm sorry we have to disappoint you, ma'am. He turns to you. Can we go now? Shivers. The shop around you feels ancient suddenly, damp and saturated by coastal air. The books are rotting. A great cold lives here, and there, too, 1,200 meters away on the urban coast, the dark shape of a church is reflected on the water, calling. Farewell for now, book peddler. We gained another point of experience. We can unlock Esprit de Corpse now and go and check with the whatchamacallit, the people in there and pass that check. Or we can just hold on to it at the moment. What else did we earn? The precarious world. Wow! While we're researching this, all red checks automatically fail. How about that? I wonder what we get for succeeding in it, though. There's so many good choices now for us. I don't know which of these to pick. I guess we'll keep letting date of birth generator work on its thought. And our quests. We're all done with the doomed commercial area. Alright, so this is what we have to do. This is what we had to do yesterday, what we're starting today. let's go... Actually, so before we call the session, let's go send Kim off. Oh, that must be the hairstyle, for example. I get the feeling the curse is actually real. But we're not... Oh, hello. Hold on. Give us something to talk to us about.
It's dark.
Lieutenant states the obvious. And the flashlight works better if you hold it in your hand. Fair point. Yes, totally obvious. Right. Now let's get to it. Forgot. I forgot all about the fact we didn't have the flashlight in our hand. Shivers makes it sound like there actually is a malignant entity living in the church. I guess we'll find out in the game later. The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly. Let's bag him, Kim. Take him away. Alright. He takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic cover over the dead man's face. I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs. Bag the corpse and drag it to the motor carriage. Okay, everyone. Well, that does it. Kim is now away, taking the body with him, and we will stop here currently. Yeah, we'll stop here. I don't know what to do next. Actually, we have these to still do. We can walk around town and talk to more people. There's more people in the Whirling in Rags we can still talk to. We have some books and or other cases we can read. And I'll figure out what we're going to do in the next episode. I might put that point in Sprint the Corpse and try this test again. But we'll do that next episode if that's what indeed I decide to do. We have the lady in the wheelchair to talk to and other people. So let's stop here. I'm beginning to babble. I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.